Okay, this is going to be a word association or a word free thought exercise where I just say whatever comes into my mind because my mind is usually racing with different thoughts and scattered and has looping thoughts, like a looping song will be on my mind a lot of the time. So last night's dream, I dreamt I was in a pool. My dream had some sexual parts to it, which I was trying to resist. I remember in the dream, it had a part where I was fighting like a grim reaper. It had a part where I was having fun going down a hill with a rabbit. I was watching a TV show on YouTube last night, Father Ted, where there was rabbits in the episode. My tea tastes really good. I've been trying to do grounding. My therapist told me to do grounding. That's where you notice what's around you and feel what you can feel around you. Like the table, notice the papers scattered, the pen, feel what it feels like, what color is blue. Notice the cat, he's moving around. Notice, I feel like there's stuff in my nose. Blow my nose. You see the flashlight on my table. My brother gave me that. He said always keep the light shining forward. Blow my nose, throw it in the trash. My house is so messy. I want to make a cleaning video where I just show before and after and clean up my house. My friend is coming back in 2 days, and I'm hoping to have a clean house when they come back and if they visit. I'm doing so poorly though. I see a receipt, reminds me of Chinese food. I'm still super stressed about what I should do about this job thing, if I should go back to work. I'm trying to figure out what I'll do if I go back to work. I'm thinking about trying to specialize and thinking what I could specialize in, and I was thinking art therapy, and I don't even know because I have no clue about art therapy, but I know that I definitely enjoy making things. I just feel like I don't know if I can do that. I'm super anxious and stressed out that I'm not good enough if I go back to work, and I'm super anxious and stressed out about talking to people about it because they will always want to know more, and I'll always feel like I'm going to start crying, and it's the last thing I ever want to do when I talk to people is start crying. And I just feel like it's like just a can of worms that I'm so afraid of opening, and I just feel stressed out about it. Okay, back to grounding. I feel my sit bones. That's what people always call them, your butt bones, I think. Feel those on the chair. Chair feels, soft but supportive. My body feels not too bad today. My stomach kind of ached this morning. The tea is helping. I feel my legs. I feel my feet on the ground. I see there's so many like tissues on the ground and like papers everywhere, and I'm just like, ooh, I just feel overwhelmed and swamped. I don't even know where to begin. Like I can clean my house, but I fear the pattern. Like I fear patterns. Like, and I fear like telling the future. Like obviously, like I can't tell the future, but I just fear like bad omens. Like casting aspersions, and like I fear like um when I do something and then other people do it, or like when I say something and then other people go down a bad path because of me or something like that. Like, I fear that a lot. Like, I fear when my energy or my like focus gets locked on something that I'm afraid about, like even drinking tea. I fear taking a sip because other people will take a sip of their drink as well if they're drinking tea. And I just like I can't like understand it. Like I fear how like when I say something and then people respond to that, and like all the possibility about like what I could say or what I could do, and then I feel so responsible for whether we have fun or whether someone gets upset, and it's just so much stress. Like I don't know. Like I feel a lot of stress for other people in and I feel so like affected by them, and like difficulty relaxing around other people as well. But all of that is basically CPTSD related. CPTSD is like complex PTSD. And yeah, I fear like rambling and like sharing too much, and like people will think I'm boring or be upset with me. And okay, the past was in the past, now is the present. I have control. I'm in control. Oh, it's a good reminder. My thoughts are just all over the place. Now I'm sweating because I'm talking about like I don't know, a physically triggering topic or something. Um, Now I feel shame. Now I'm thinking about shame. Now I'm thinking about when I was laying in bed doing this exercise by myself, but I was thinking, my mind kept looping on shame. And now I'm thinking about shame thrives in secrecy and in um, judgment. And I learned that from a different YouTube channel video. And shame melts when you share you share about it, and you're met with love and acceptance. I'm super ashamed like about all my aces, and I just never feel like I can share about it because I'm always afraid that it's like something's not right. Like it's not the right moment, not the right person. I'm not safe to share or whatever. But honestly, I'll just share a little bit. I'm afraid about all my aces and ashamed about all of them, like adverse childhood events, even though I didn't like ask for those things to happen and I was just a kid, but it still super affects me. And I'm ashamed of like what I did as a kid, like especially like sexual related things, exploring sexually, even though I've heard like that's normal, that a lot of kids will end up doing that. Obviously, not all, but that it's kids will do that because they're just curious. And I just never had like any kind of safe parent or guardian who I actually felt like safe, like saying anything to about it. I just felt like super unsafe, and I picked up on all the shame that was there that no one would talk about because they're so ashamed of. And like I just picked up on the judgment, and I picked up on the criticism, and like I just carried it forward. And now I'm not doing that, and I haven't done that for a while. Actually, I've been you know resisting temptation, like sexual temptation, for months, probably like a month or 2 months now. And I have God to thank for that. I have the Bible to thank for that. And now I'm worried about people getting triggered by the Bible. And I don't know, like there's nothing I can do about that. Can't control other people. But now I'm thinking about I don't know, I kind of reached the end point of my freak out or my thought association exercise, my free thought exercise. I know people do this exercise with writing. They do like morning pages or whatever. I do write a lot. Like I've kept a journal for many years. I don't know. I just I always feel so alone. Like I think that everything we do is like for connecting with other people. Like that's what I think, honestly. Like I think attachment is such a strong part of our lives. And I mean, it's just not talked about a lot, that's for sure. It's talked about, but it's not talked about in the terms like attachment. And often it's talked about in a different way, and oftentimes people will be very interested in the topic of attachment because it relates to everybody. But yeah, I think it relates to everybody so far as we all want to have like a secure and healthy attachment, and we all want to be loved. And I think that it really sticks out to people who are hurting inside, because it's like, yeah, this is what's really hurting me. Like I have so much difficulty with social stuff, like social interaction and stuff, because, well, for one, I just feel like I'm such an alien now. Like, I'm ashamed to say, but I took like a lot of drugs, and it kind of warped my mind. So now I feel like super sensitive to like a lot of things, and like I just have difficulty like having like a normal, I don't even know what like a normal conversation is like anymore. Like for me, that's just like a relaxed conversation, you know? But I always feel like people's tone is really different now than it was before. Like, and people are out of sync. That's what I feel like. I think a lot of that has to do with the internet because of asynchronous emotion. Basically, we don't we don't we now more than ever experience intense emotions at different times than one another, and we even put those emotions in recorded form on the internet, like in a video or in a comment or in something. We put those intense emotions asynchronously up online so that other people can come experience them more than ever out of sync with other people. Like, it has never been like this before. Um, it has never been so on demand and so immersive. And basically, what it does is it just bubbles people. Like, it enables bubbling. Like, it enables people to be in a bubble. And in some cases, it actually encourages that. Like, oh my gosh, this is a huge topic. This is like such a meaningful topic because what I'm talking about here is like the splintered realities or epistemic bubbles or different worldviews, and like the internet has really enabled that to happen a lot. And it's strange because I remember reading that people used to think that or some people thought that once the internet came around and everyone had access to libraries of information, that we would all kind of like collectively, get smarter and be able to assess ideas and, learn so many things. And it hasn't totally been that way for a lot of people. Like, I don't know. It's, if you look at data about it, like, we live in the anxious generation, especially among younger people. And this is where I find there's such a disconnect between older and younger because it's completely changed the way people, like young people's, like storytelling ability and our like the way that we're in sync with each other. Like, I don't know. I oftentimes like nostalgic stuff or just old videos, like old YouTube videos or old TV series, stuff that was made like 2000s, 90s, because it just had a different essence. It had part of this essence that I'm saying that has kind of gone away. Like, everything has shifted. Like, the baseline has shifted basically because the baseline is like super important. It's like what everything bounces off of. and it's like a collective thing. It's a cultural thing. It's culture means what's cultivated. I don't know. It's just, I mean, it kind of gets me down, but I'm also like, I just feel like I'm isolated. I just feel like the hard part has been isolation. And also, I don't like feeling like I'm in the Matrix, like sometimes, or like I don't like this NPC type thing, and um, yeah. Now I'm feeling kind of down a bit, just thinking about it, and I don't like the hypercriticism that I'm so worried about. Like, maybe that's just in my own head, but there's like so many, when you think about things logically and ordered in a logical way, there's like all these like counter arguments, and then you start getting into philosophy and you start getting into this and that, and it just, it's really difficult. Like, I mean, having a proper debate or argument is a great thing. I just feel like a lot of it is like who's got the more energy, and a lot of times people who have more energy are the ones that are just like highly wired, and I don't know, I just feel kind of beaten down a bit. um, Although talking now, I do feel more relaxed. It's interesting. And I'm grateful that I can make this long video. I do kind of care about like who sees these videos. That's a lot. That's true. I do care about who sees these videos, like, but I don't care about as much about them seeing like, the that mess that I'm living in, because it's just like, it's real life, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to live in like a real messy, terrible life, but that's kind of like what I'm dealing with right now, and um, that's like kind of the hand that I've been dealt. Although I do feel like I have like control and like agency over it. I just feel so stressed out and I end up going like into patterns, old patterns, like when I get triggered, I guess that's what you call it, where I just let things kind of like slide or let things go. But I've been getting better about that because I I did write down my goals, and I think writing down your goals is really important. Um, I followed like the Jordan Peterson um, self-authoring program. I didn't follow the whole program. I just he said what he did, or no, he said what it was in a podcast, and it's just like write down your goals about, dream and write down what you want in 5 years and let yourself dream about it and just write it down. And so I did that, and then I did the write down in 5 years where you'll be if you let your bad habits get the best of you. And so I did that part too, and that's actually been really helpful for a couple things. Uh, fingers crossed, and with God's help, but I've been able to, um, you know, not use pornography, and I think I'm so ashamed about that. I think so many guys are ashamed about that, but they don't say anything, but it's like I've seen numbers that it's like 90 or 95% of guys use pornography or like watch it. And like, yeah, that's a really high number. But yeah, so I've been able with the goals to not do that, and I'm thankful about that. And like lead a Bible study for men. That's one of my goals, and um, it'll be coming true on Sunday, and I'm really happy about that. Just because, like, I wanted a Bible study, and I just think the Bible is so important, and I think learning about God's Word is so important, and I think like having discussion is so important, and I think that guys getting together is so important, um, for a good reason. And yeah, I'm excited and I'm happy about it. Um, but yeah, and then I've got other goals on there like working out, so it's helped me to work out more. Um, but yeah, I'm currently really stressing about the job part of things in my life, because like job is so important, and people are always asking, and I mean always asking about your work and about that, like uh and it just stresses me so much, and it always has, because I've never known what was the correct answer to that question. Even though there's probably not a correct answer, the correct answer is probably like, I've heard so many different answers. Like, I've heard like I I don't know if you'd say an ideal answer, but people say like do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life or something like this. And then I've heard on the other end, it's just people are like, you have to work, like more cynical people just be like, my parents so cynical, my dad especially, they just be like, my dad actually like makes fun of people. He like calls them like working stiffs, and like he doesn't work though, or like he hasn't worked much, like um but I don't know. And then we have like, at least in Canada, there's like such like high expectations, they border on like delusion in Canada for people, because yeah, and like of like what you're gonna do, and like we put so much pressure on each other too, of like what we're gonna do, and we like make fun of people. Like I was made fun of when I had a perfectly respectable job when I was 20 years old. I was working in an airplane factory, and that's like a good job for like so much of the world. But like my friends at the time who were going to university were like making fun of me, or at least one of them was. Well, two of them maybe, and that's why they weren't like. I don't know. It's tough when you're people you want, you're attached to, and you spend time with, and I don't know. It's just tough when the culture of your friendship is like never like supportive and like honest, and like it's just ripping on each other. That's tough, and that can happen with groups of guys, young guys especially. But I don't know. Masculine energy is really important, just like feminine energy is, and I just think that masculine energy has suffered. And I saw this video lately about how like we need to like admire and encourage like, you know healthy young masculine energy. And like honestly, I think the way to do that is like have places to debate for a man, you know, have places to uh, practice martial arts, like um, you know, have places for healthy competition, you know, with referees, right? Like I think that's super important. And like that is honestly so like scorned and scoffed at and like just disregarded and in a lot of circles, and that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. So I don't know. I mean, I want to join a martial arts place. I wanted to join a jiu-jitsu place, but there's no BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, out here where I live in my town. And there is judo, so I think I might go to judo. Um, but yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about martial arts, and so I tried joining it back when I lived in the city, um, where I was from, and I kind of got I don't know, like for some reason, like you know, just like instability I have, like, and difficulty getting along with people. I don't even know if that was it, but I did like the free trial, and they said it was free, but you had to pay a $300 down deposit, and you had to do 6 lessons at least, and you got a month free. And I did that, and I returned the gi, I think it's called a gi, at the end of the free trial, and I was like, I did my 6 lessons, can I have my $300 back? And the guy was like, so he wasn't like directly aggressive, but he was indirectly aggressive and basically like a slimy salesman. And I don't like that. And he was like making it really difficult to get the money back. It's like if you make a deal, if you have a deal, you know, like okay, if there's a bunch of Weasley fine print, I get that, but there wasn't. If you make a deal, just like follow through. And he never gave me my $300 back. And I moved by that time, and I I called him like 3 or 4 times, and I talked to like a different guy there, and this guy was just kept telling me, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, I'll send it to you. Oh yeah, you paid by Visa. Okay, I'll send it back. I have to send on your Visa. Something's going on with our machine and blah blah." And he never sent the money, and like I don't know. It's been like over a year. I don't know. It is $300, but like, it's such a pain. One thing I struggle with is like, um, because I'm so like out of my body all the time, and like I need to ground, and because I get like triggered and stuff, and like I just end up not doing basic things I should be doing, like cleaning my house, and like this is so embarrassing, but so like I'm like so ashamed of like not doing like basic things, but um that's how my family was though, like, and we always had to lie and hide stuff. Like I always had to lie. I lied about my parents' jobs because they didn't work. I lied to everybody and said that they had jobs. I just was so embarrassed. I couldn't stomach people feeling bad for me for some reason, and me like not knowing how to process that, um, and like breaking down and crying. Like I couldn't stomach it. Like, and that's, I guess that's shame right there, because that's where it thrives, you know. And so in secrecy and lies. So, but like I have a lot of stuff I got to do still. Like get my driver's license. I'm ashamed about that. I have to fix my car, and I'm just like putting it off. I have to do my taxes. I haven't done those for like 2 years, and like I just feel ashamed to say this stuff because people will just like, I feel like people just will like kick you when you're down, and like it's so basic, but like I just, I struggle to do it. I have to like um put my receipts in for my insurance to get paid back for certain appointments, and like, yeah. Anyways, this free thought exercise turned into just eventing, ventilation, um, debrief and vent, which is good. Yap session, which is good. It's super needed for me anyway, because I like don't have anyone to talk to, or like I have trouble talking to people, and opening up. So, anyways,